What video? You already see the heading. I'm going to be doing the chocolate marble apples. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, then that notification bell to let you know your girl Ro is on, and I'm definitely coming to give you life for show. If you are enjoying my videos or my channel, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below, and we're going to get right into the video. All right. I want to let everyone know that will be joining us later on, that this is a live recorded video in actual time. So there will be a few questions at the end of this video. So please just know we're breaking off for Q&A at the end of the video. All right. So whatever questions that you do not get a chance to get answered, leave them in the comment section below, and I will get to those questions in the comments. All right. All right. So what I have before you are my apples. My apples are, I didn't clean my apples, but they were washed, meaning I didn't do a special cleaning to remove the wax. So the wax is on these apples. I have some Paramount crystals. Paramount crystals are a form of shortening, okay, just to thin out the chocolate if I need to, based on I have chocolate colored candy melts, and I have pink. This is about one bag of a 16-ounce Merckens candy milk chocolate, and I will leave all links in the description box below. That is located up under this video. So I have 16 ounces in this cup here, in this bowl here. Then I have about 8 ounces of purple. Both are Merckens. All right. And I have a piping bag full of candy melts, which is white. So I'm going to do 3 colors. And the base color is going to be pink. And then I'm going to apply the purple and the white. All right. I got a couple of spatulas here, some scissors, and I also got some long toothpicks that I'm going to use in this demonstration as well. My apple stick, which is the longer stick, and my apple straw piping bag, and I laid down some parchment paper over my surface because of the technique that I'm going to do. You may want to use some parchment paper or Reynolds wrap, whatever you have, just to do this particular technique. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my apple stick, just inserting from at the top. You want to make sure you pierce it in just a little bit, okay, and not send it all the way through. Take your apple stick here. This is a paper straw, and put it over your apple stick, inserting it, pressing firmly down. As you press firmly down, the stick does move a little bit. So be careful of how much you pushing force into your apple. All right. Also, you want to make sure you flip your apple to check that your stick didn't go all the way through. Shake it a little bit. All right. To make sure it's not going to come out and it's firmly secured into your apple. We're going to set that aside. Taking our piping bag. Okay. I'm going to put my piping bag in my piping bag cup here. Get that ready. And we're going to melt, because I want to have my chocolate that I'm going to use to marbleize the apple. I want to go ahead and put them in piping bags. It's better to do it that way for a better technique when marbling the apple. So I'm going to go ahead and melt my chocolate melts for 30 seconds. This is 8 ounces that I'm melting. Okay. All right, so while we let that melt, working with the colored candy melts, they are sensitive to heat, so you may need to add a little oil to the candy melts. It just depends on which brand you're using and how fresh the chocolate melts are, okay? So this is the first interval, which melted pretty good here. Taking my spatula and mixing that up well. I'm utilizing the heat from the glass cup here to help melt down the candy melts. Now you want this to be thin and not thick, okay? That plays a part in applying it to the rest of the chocolate. You want whatever colors you're going to incorporate, excuse me, whatever colors you're going to incorporate, make sure that they're thin enough in the same consistency when applying to your base color, okay? So that's all melted. I'm going to add just a few pinches of Paramount crystals, okay? I want to say that I added about a half tablespoon, okay? If you don't have Paramount crystals, you can also use vegetable shortening, or some use coconut oil, but you want to be careful when using coconut oil because you do have some people that are allergic, okay, have allergies. All right, so I'm just mixing that all in, checking my consistency. All right, and it can be thinning out a little bit more, so I'm gonna add another almost about a half tablespoon of Paramount crystals. Okay, and what if you have any crystals that are still in here, it's okay to throw it back in the microwave for a few seconds at a time to assure that it's melt down all the way, okay? And once again, remember, you want all your chocolate coloring, whatever color chocolate you're using, you want your consistency, okay? And I'm going to tell you why when we get to that point. Okay? So I'm pretty good with that. Now, if you want to flavor your chocolate, flavor your main coloring, you don't have, it's not necessary to flavor all three colors, okay? I would just do the base. So I'm going to go ahead and pour that in there. No, and I'm right-handed, and I just started with my left. All right. We got that in there and out the way. And this piping bag is about a 16-inch piping bag that I'm using. I'm going to twist that up and tie it off. I'm going to set this to the side. All right, so now I'm going to melt my main color, which is pink. 30 seconds in the microwave. Okay. And it's the same as the purple and the white. It's Merckens chocolate candy melts. And if you don't have a microwave, you can also double boil your candy melts. Okay, so I got both of my bags ready. All right. So once again, this is about 16 ounces of pink Merckens candy melts. And you see the thickness of the melts, okay? I know this is a plastic bowl. It's one of my favorite plastic bowls, though. I know how my candy melts can melt in this bowl, but I always prefer to use a glass bowl, okay? The process is just a little bit more easier. Okay, so I'm just going to work this around to make sure majority of the melts are melted. Now, because this is apples I'm dipping, I want my consistency to be right. So in the process of melting this, I'm going to let it sit for a few minutes after I have achieved my desired consistency, so that the temperature can come down on the chocolate so I won't get that elephant skin once I dip my apples. Okay? So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of Paramount crystals to this, which I know I'm going to have to put it back in the microwave for a few more seconds. Okay? But this is the process of how I melt my chocolate. Okay, it all depends on the brand. All bags don't melt the same, and all colors don't melt the same. So I'm gonna put this back in the microwave for about 10 seconds. Do it in small intervals. That will help with having control of your chocolate or chocolate melts, because you don't want to overheat the chocolate. Okay. Now, if I had this in a glass bowl, it'll definitely be a little bit more easier to work with and process. Why I use this bowl? Because this is what I had at the time. Okay. Still thick, so I'm going to add more Paramount crystals. And it's a little hot today, especially hot in here. And this is why my Paramount crystals is all stuck together. And just mix that in there. Now, if you notice that your chocolate does this, it's okay to add more to get your chocolate melts how you want it. But dipping it while it's thick, they're not going to come out right. Okay, I'm just going to keep adding more until it comes out right. And I'm looking for that runny consistency. Mix that in there. And I'm going to put this back in the microwave for a few seconds, for about 5 seconds. Going in for 5 seconds. We're almost there. And put this back in for a few more seconds. Adding more Paramount crystals. Like I said, when you have certain colors, it is sensitive to heat. Some melt well, some don't. And this is just the process you go through to thin out your chocolate to get that desired coverage. And I know I don't have a measuring spoon at this time, but adding a I know I may have said half a cup, but I meant to say if I did say half a cup, I meant half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon at a time just helps, so you won't over thin the chocolate. Okay. Put that back in for about 10 seconds. So for those that had difficulties melting chocolate, this is the process. It's not like, and it depends on the brand once again. When you melt, this is just the process. It's not that it's going to melt on the first try. And that's if you got some good chocolate. But Merckens is a good brand of chocolate. Especially if you had chocolate on your shelf for quite some time. This usually happens as well. And we gonna get there. See if it ain't running off my spoon. It's not ready. So adding more. All right. There's still some crystals in there. But I'm trying to utilize the heat of it as much as I can. I'm going to add just a little bit more. Trust the process. That's what I tell y'all. Trust the process. You gotta trust the process. And in the process, even if your other bags start to, if your other chocolate starts to thicken, as long as you don't have a metal wire around your bag, just throw it in the microwave for about 5 seconds and it'll get back to thin consistency, okay? And we are almost there. Try to melt down that other piece as much as I can. I see one piece in there. And I'm just going to keep stirring it, okay? Grabbing my apple. I'm going to let this sit for a few minutes. And I'm going to just throw these in the microwave for a few seconds to make sure it's still thin. Okay, that's the first bag. And just take it out and just work around the chocolate in the bag. Okay. And do the same for the second one. Now this is only if you adding 2 colors, because you know sometimes you can add 1, but I'm doing 3 different colors for you. All right. All right. So here we go. And if I had a whole bag of white chocolate, I probably would have did the white chocolate and gold. But it didn't work out that way. All right. So I'm just assuring that my chocolate is okay. Okay. It don't need to sit a long period of time. A good 5 minutes is enough. All right. So in this process, all right, get your sticks ready, apples ready, cut your bags open, and I'm going to cut not too big of a hole, but big enough to give me some nice lines, okay? Nice lines to work with. And I'm going to do the same for the white. It's all about the design. Oops. You're looking for. Well, that's definitely thin enough. Okay. So test it out before you go. Now that you have assured that all your chocolate is thin and ready to go, let's dip your apple. You're going to dip your apple first. I'm going to sit my apple in there. Bring it up at the top. Come around. Okay. As I come around, I'm going to add in some white. Okay, I added in some white. Tap. Go back in and coat your apple. Okay. Once you have done that, I'm going to shake this down some. You want to shake till it falls. You see the design coming into the apple? All of this have to be applied while it's wet, not while it's dry. All right. So I'm going to add in some purple. Remember, all of this have to be wet. Taking it. Now I'm just going to take this stick here, and you have to move a little swiftly. Okay. Because all this have to be done at the same time. And I'm tapping on the counter so that it can all come together. Okay. Now your lines can be bigger or smaller. However, it's up to you. And set this to the side. I'm going to do another one. Try not to get, that's why I laid parchment paper down, too much coloring into your main color. Once again, I'm going to sit my apple in there. Moving swiftly as I can. All right. Start to shake it. Apply a little color here. You see that? I'm adding color to the top. Shake. Down. Come back in. Rotate it. You can take your spatula and then begin to tap it down. And this one I'm not going to add the purple. I'm just going to, so you can see the design of how the chocolate comes all together afterwards. Okay. Because I know a lot of people are going to say, it wasn't smooth for me. Okay. So I get enough of the candy melts off into the bowl first. Okay. Once you got enough of it off into the bowl, listen to me well. A lot of y'all don't watch the video all the way through. But once you get done with tapping enough of it in the bowl, then come to the surface and tap to bring down some more of the chocolate. All right? I'm going to pop these in the freezer right quick. They don't need to stay in the freezer that long, for about just 5 minutes or so. Okay, and then that's when you start applying your gold. All right, but that's the process that I do. And no, this is not the process you do when you make candy apples. This is something totally different. This is the marble effect. This is how I do mine. And like I said, once again, when you add colors, you have to do it within the time that you are coating the whole apple. Okay, it's a process. As long as your chocolate is thin, it don't have to be like super thin. All right, just long as it's thin enough, all right, to cover, thin enough to dip, and your colors that you're adding are thin enough to apply. All right, thin enough to dip, thin enough to apply. Okay. All right, so while I have that in the freezer, go ahead and take a few questions. Thank you all for joining. If you just recently joined, I'm doing the marble effect chocolate apples. Okay, let's go for some questions. Thank you. Ro, where did you purchase your clear bags? I bought some, but they tore. I get my clear bags from clearbags.com. Or are you talking about the piping bag? Can you please put the name of the crystals? They're Paramount crystals. I'm going to put the links in the description box below this video. So you'll have access to go in under the video, click the link, and it'll take you right to Paramount crystals. You're welcome. So I got my little brush here, my little decorated brush. And then I'm going to bring out my, I got some white on here. Bring out my gold. The gold that I'm using is from Lavender's Bake Shop. It's the gold dust. You could use the edible gold, which I'm going to put the link in the description box below. And I'm going to use, you can use lemon extract, you can use vodka, but I'm using Paper Potion by Icing Images, which is really good. So I'm just going to pour in, it's some powder that's already in here. So more powder and then liquid. Just need just a little bit to apply. Okay. And that's the one with just the two colors. Okay, you see how it has to all come together. And it's the one with the purple. Which I like my lines to fall together like this one did. But I know it was drying up, so. All right. So as you apply your vodka or lemon extract, like I said, you want more powder. You want it to come to a liquid form of the gold here with a nice thin brush. Now what I usually do, find me like the design into the apple is what you want to focus on. So I'm going to create a line just going along this line here for the gold. just the gold trace, okay? And just take you some more gold. So you find another spot. And like I said, I'm just going, making an outline. You basically just tracing along where like the chocolate has fell or drooped down. And that's how I create my lines, my outlines. So I'm just going to connect. If your gold fades away, that's fine. No big deal. Just be creative. And I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to come down this way here. Okay? And I'm going to go around the apple, but just giving you an idea of that. And the view to finish, go to my Facebook page, Your Sweet Connection, for pictures. All right? Any questions? That's pretty much it. Thank you. Piping bags. Piping bags you can get off of Amazon as well. They got some good thick ones on Amazon for piping bags. Once again, I will leave the link in the description box below. When you're doing apples like this, I'm gonna just show you right quick. And you got a lot of lines. Just find the ones you want to just outline and be. It don't have to, like I said, it don't have to be so much gold. And I'm just outlining this purple line here and just following it either till it runs out or go into something else. Come all the way down. Then I'm going to like separate it and like come here what I mean by separating is just come into and just give it some space for the design and just take this one going this way like that. Okay, and once that is done, then I look where else, where, you know, see where I want to just apply some more. I get the bottom here. You know, less is good, and it's okay. It defines your art just a little bit better, and it just depends on the project. Okay. All right. These apples can last As long as you store them in the refrigerator, they'll last for weeks. Okay? Because they're chocolate apples. They'll last as long as you properly store them in the refrigerator. They can stay out, but if it's hot and humid, just know they'll melt because it's chocolate. So it's okay to put them in the refrigerator. What kind of brush am I using? This brush, um, it's a very detailed brush. It's a detailed brush that has a thin bristle, and it defines like some of your artwork than you would do with the thicker brush. So when you're working with certain projects, you know, it's best to have different size brushes, especially if you're trying to make lines, because you don't want to use a fat bristle brush to apply, you know, these particular lines to your apples. So I will leave the link below for the brushes. Once again, all the supplies that I am using in this video, I will leave in the leave links in the description box below. All right. All right. So that's my time. I appreciate you. One last question. Someone asked, do you clean the apples the same way you do with candy apples? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It's not necessary. At the beginning of this video, you will hear me state that the apples are not unwaxed. The wax is on the apple. It's just the process of melting your chocolate, letting it sit before you dip so that your chocolate can sustain to be on that wax apple. All right, it's all in the process. Trust the process. And no, that's not how you store the candy apples at all. You can store the candy apples in the refrigerator, but that's a different process. But check out my other videos that will explain how to do candy apples. I will leave links in the description box below. That is my time. I have enjoyed you all. If you have enjoyed this video, please let me know below in the comment section. Also, all links, once again, will be in the description box up under this video below. And once again, you new to my channel, hit that subscribe button, that notification bell. Your girl Ro has been traveling. I'll be leaving out next week. But I want to let you all know you have the last opportunity to register for all my online classes, which is more support groups now, where you have a more up and personal relationship with me and my team. All right. But you know, I'm on my tour, and all my classes online are still $25. So go to my Facebook page. I will leave that link in the description box as well. If you don't get to it soon, just go to Your Sweet Connection on Facebook. Go to message and request. You just put in bundle. Bundle, bundle, bundle. I want to shout out to Tamara Burns for giving me recognition for being her mentor. She was featured in the paper yesterday or the day before yesterday. I can't remember the days. A couple of days ago, for being recognized in the state of Texas. She's a bad artist, and I'm so proud of her, and I just thank you. Thank you once again, publicly. Tamara Burns, check her out. Oh my goodness. I don't know what else to say. I got all tear-eyed when I seen that. But I just thank you once again. And like I said, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, that notification bell. And definitely I will be back on to give you life and more videos. So stay tuned. See you all soon.